San Francisco, like, it's a little bit of a one industry town.
Right, exactly.
And for someone to say, like, actually get out techies, like, that's actually a call to, let's destroy the city. This is sort of like the post-truth apocalypse of truth. Like, if you just put up a website and make it look official enough, like, well, LLMs read this, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, like Gemini, like they'll read these things and it's sort of in the ether now. I feel like there's this weird anti sort of tech culture where people who grew up in San Francisco often don't feel like the prosperity of tech like sort of goes over to them. And I think that that's actually, somewhat of a failure of community and it's a failure of government. And those are things we can do something about.
You got to explain Saunagate. I mean, obviously I've seen it all over Twitter. People think that like you do some crazy Illuminati shit. What about you? Like any future political aspirations, maybe after YC or something?
Oh, I mean, maybe like 10, 20 years from now.
What would you do? You're going to be the mayor of San Francisco?
I'm Michael Mignano from Lightspeed, and this is Out of Office. Today, I'm talking with the legendary Garry Tan. Garry is the CEO of the startup accelerator Y Combinator, or YC as it's known, which has funded 5,000 startups representing a combined $800 billion of value. I came out to San Francisco to visit Garry in his hometown and talk about his path to YC and his philosophy on making big bets on founders. To kick things off, we met up across the street from his home in the beautiful Dolores Park before diving into a conversation about the city itself, politics, faith, and even Garry's sauna. Enjoy.
Yo.
Great to see you, man.
What's up, man?
Great to see you, brother.
All right, thanks for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.
This is a beautiful place.
This is one of the most beautiful places in the world, I think.
We are in San Francisco, your home city, and as you know, we've been looking forward to this for some time. The things that I really want to talk to you are probably quite obvious: seed investing, maybe some of your political involvement. But I think we should probably start with San Francisco, because this is where we are. And tell me a little bit about this park. Like, you live right near here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember basically like when I was working on my startup back in 2008. This is like my dream area.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then it's just such a blessing to, be able to move back to this area. And this is where they invented the Mission Burrito. My favorite place is right here at
like a
El Buen
specific
Sabor.
place there?
I think it was La Taqueria down this way on 24th. But yeah, this is sort of the area. This park is sort of like the mecca for where, I don't know, everyone just wants to hang out on a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And you're not from San Francisco, but you're from the Bay, right? You're from Fremont?
Yeah, I grew up in, over the Bay. This whole area is kind of funny because when I was 18 years old, so actually 17, I was still in high school. I took BART in and took the 16 into Potrero Hill, and that was where I learned how to code. Okay. It was like the Web 1.0 boom was happening, like 1998. And I learned to make basically database-backed websites back then. And, I didn't know anything, but I managed to cold email my way into this design firm called Adjacency. And that was the firm that made the first Apple e-commerce store for Steve Jobs.
Wow.
So
oh my God.
I got to work on all these brands like Power Bar and Specialized and Esprit and Harman Kardon. I was 17 years old. I was making, $25 an hour. I was I had it made,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you would take the train up here? How long does that take?
It was an hour. I mean, it was a while, but.
That was like me for New York City. I grew up on Long Island, and I would take the train into New York City.
Mm-hmm. We're the bridge and tunnel folks.
Yes,
then.
Exactly. We are bridge and tunnel.
But look at us now.
Yeah. How do you think, maybe before you were doing that, how did growing up in the Bay Area kind of shape your interests in tech? How did you get into it all? Just because you're surrounded by it, or?
Basically being in the Bay Area is it's in the water, right?
Yeah, even down there where you were.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I thought Fremont's even closer to Silicon Valley than San Francisco is.
Right.
And so
That's
you
true.
got, Apple in Cupertino, and then everything about the Bay Area economy kind of comes from tech. There's a little bio, but there's semiconductors. Silicon Valley is silicon initially, and then it's kind of funny these days it's silicon again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's gorgeous here. You suggested that we hang out here, and when I pulled up, I was like, wow, what an unbelievable day and place to be starting this. So as you know, I come here quite often for work. I'm coming here for deals or board meetings, talk to a founder.
Come here on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for somebody who lives here, I mean, what advice would you have for somebody like me to kind of like appreciate the beauty of San Francisco? Because this is gorgeous, and I don't know, at least I don't always associate kind of beauty with San Francisco. I think about just work constantly when I'm here.
Got to bring the family, come down, right down the street over there is our family's favorite playground.
Okay.
And then you stroll down right over here and Buy Right Creamery, that's incredible.
Oh, wow. Like homemade ice cream?
Yeah, like get the salted caramel, get a Mission Burrito at El Buen Sabor, that's my favorite jam. Pizzeria Delfina, like right here on 18th,
I've been there.
is incredible.
That place is great, yeah.
If you get an Airbnb around here, go to Buy Right Market, and it's just like the freshest produce, like all the freshest specialty everything, in this tiny little store.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is my own little form of heaven, I think.
And it's really nice. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk about San Francisco and some of the issues, but like it seems like I don't know, it feels like it's getting nicer and
We're
cleaner.
so back.
Yeah.
We are back. So.
Yeah. So this is probably a good segue into something that I actually want to talk to you about, which is politics. I feel like, you know, for somebody who follows your Twitter account, and you know, we know each other a little bit, like you seem to have a strong interest in local San Francisco politics.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Where did that come from?
I mean, it was COVID. I remember being on Clubhouse. I think Mike Solana was on there, like Balaji was on there, and then this guy who was the district attorney at the time, Chesa Boudin, jumped in the chat, and we're just, you know, freaking out about how San Francisco is really falling apart, and he's in there gaslighting everyone about the crime is actually down. And you know, there was something that struck me. I mean, this was in the middle of the lockdown, right?
Right. When emotions are like sort of at their highest.
I mean, everyone's a little crazy during that time, but I realized that here's someone who, I mean, might actually be pretty dangerous to the people of San Francisco. Like that you could walk in and like sort of say things that were just clearly not true for anyone who could read the numbers or actually live in the community and see what was happening to Asian American elders. By then I was really upset about the death of Hanako Abe, and you know, this happened on New Year's Eve in 2020. It was like sort of this, you know, someone who had been, you know, arrested like 30 times felony, sort of like repeat offender, was on drugs, drove crazy down Market Street and killed these two women on New Year's Eve. And, you know, he was basically immediately let out. Like it seemed like there was going to be no accountability at this point. And I started digging in and realizing, actually, there was like this social experiment that was happening to San Francisco.
This is before the conversation on Clubhouse.
I mean,
this is like leading
about
up
that
to
time.
it. Okay.
I mean, you know, I had already been getting really upset. Like, why was this happening to, you know, in San Francisco is a very unusual city in some respect because it's actually 35, 40% Asian American. And so to see our elders being, you know, stabbed and sort of maimed, killed, you know, follow home invasion robberies, and for there to be no accountability, to have a district attorney, you know, the district attorney is supposed to hold people accountable,
yeah,
right?
100%.
But we had elected someone who explicitly was like not really doing anything like that. And for someone to come in and sort of say that crime was down, that like the lived experience of our communities was so wrong, like this is someone who's elected, and I, you know, sort of lost it at that point. And simultaneous to that, there was someone who I now consider a really big mentor to me, Nancy Tung. She actually ran against Chesa, and she, in that Clubhouse, said, hey, tech people, if you want to understand what's going on with SF politics, how did we get here? I'm happy to just go on a walk with anyone here. And we basically went on a walk, kind of like the walk we're on in Noe Valley. And she just laid it out, like, this is why this is how these, you know, sort of people, you know, got into power. And then the hard part from that conversation was like, at that point, SF, we had lost everything. Like, we had a relatively moderate, but like kind of powerless mayor in London Breed. But the Board of Supervisors was completely captured. That wasn't the only issue, actually. Like, safety is number one to me. Second was like education. Like, I realized that even in San Francisco now, if you're an 8th grader, it's actually very hard to take algebra.
Huh.
Which, like, I mean, I realized at that point as a person in tech, like, you know, I grew up sometimes food insecure. Being able to go to public school and get access to calculus and a great education allowed me to go to Stanford, allowed me to study computer engineering. Like, my whole life got set up from, you know, what was a great public school education.
Yeah.
And so to hear that, you know, we are bringing thousands of people to San Francisco to start companies. They're starting companies that employ thousands to tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people.
Those people are having kids, building their families.
Yeah. And like, how could we do that?
Yeah.
And then their kids cannot even get access to algebra in middle schools. And then like the politics here got so crazy that like over equity, I mean, honestly, out of like sort of this pathological empathy, they were going and sort of destroying the very thing that we actually like. I mean, that's underpinning society, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want safety, you want your kid, like, we want our elders to be safe, we want, you know, our families to be safe, and we want our kids to be able to have an access to good educations.
Yeah.
And
Hard to argue with any of that.
It's nuts.
So this is like, you started getting really involved after this. I mean, I feel like you know, just again, observing from afar, throwing events, helping candidates raise money, things like that. Like, what else? What'd you do?
I mean, basically, what's funny about it is it was all driven by Twitter. So I started following people who were all the way in the weeds, like people who ran nonprofits like Stop Crime SF. You know, I started following people who went all the way in the weeds, who like look at the budgets, who are in the city government. And then I realized at some point, like, Twitter and X, like, you know, on the one hand, it's not real life. On the other hand, it really is, because you can, if you look and you're not like distracted by whatever the feed says, if you're actually searching actively for people who speak directly about what is happening, it's all available to see. And I met all of them. It was like, we started meeting in person. It's like a BBS meetup, actually. It's like a forum meetup. Like, you're meeting people from Usenet or something. Like, you know, we're dating ourselves, because like, I mean, it's like it was like an internet meetup, but that's
like
what
old
that's
school
what it is
meetup.com.
now.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I feel like, you know, some of the other things I saw you talk a lot about, YIMBY seemed to be a really big thing for you. I'm guessing, you know, I can only imagine that has to do with sort of the rising cost of housing, probably as a result of tech, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out it's all the same people who don't want to build housing. They actually hate us. They hate tech. And they hate abundance. And, you know, and it's interesting, like, New York is fascinating because it's such a multifaceted city. Like, there's just so many different industries. And, you know, San Francisco, though, like, it's a little bit of a one-industry town.
Right, exactly.
And for someone to say, like, actually get out, techies, like, that's actually a call to, you know, let's destroy the city. Like, let's actually, and, you know, it doesn't take a lot. Like, you could just go to Oakland and see what's going on in Oakland right now. Like, they lost all their sports teams. It's actually one of the most dangerous places in the country now. And, you know, if we let San Francisco become Oakland, like, you know, I grew up in the Bay Area. I really love this place, and I'm not leaving. Like, I'm not going to Austin. I'm not, like, leaving the city. Like, there's no place to run to. So we just said, we're not going to leave. We're going to stand and fight.
But you're back.
Yeah.
Like you said over a minute ago, we're back. So, like, what happened? What changed? How did you, and maybe some small way, impact that? I
mean, I think there was just a shift in Overton window. Like, I just started saying things that normally, like, people would think they're going to get fired for. Things like, oh no, it's actually not okay that our elders are being, you know, stabbed and shot and beaten to death. Like, you know, we want accountability for that. And nothing happened to me. And, like, if anything, like, in the background, people started saying, oh yeah, like, that's actually what we really believe. We're just too afraid to say that. And, you know, in the background, like, you know, what's funny, it blows my mind. People spend millions of dollars, like, so much of their personal capital on national races and just, like, go completely bonkers. And yet, like, you know, very small amounts of money. Like, I didn't donate more than maybe a couple $100,000. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
But, like, you know, tech has been really, really kind to me. And, like, a relatively small, in the global sense, amount of money in politics and local moves the needle a lot.
So what are some of the, like, big positive changes you've seen recently?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is We recalled Chesa Boudin, that district attorney who like literally was just, I mean, I think he was openly victimizing the Asian American community. Like, you know, there would be someone who was a victim of like literally like, you know, an Asian grandpa named Vicha Ratanapakdi was murdered in cold blood on video. And he went to the media and said, oh, the perpetrator was just having a temper tantrum. And I'm like, how can you say that in a city where, like, if Asian Americans allow this to happen in a city where we're 35% of the population, like, where's the justice for Asian Americans? Like, this is, you know, a classic Stop Asian Hate thing. And we got him out. And so we have a great DA now, Brooke Jenkins. We recalled 3 school board members, and now algebra is coming back a little bit too slowly, in my opinion, but it's at least on the mend.
There's a path.
And we retook the board of supervisors. So we actually have a YIMBY moderate pro-business and pro-public safety board of supervisors for the moment. Though, you know, these things come and go, right?
What about you? Like any future political aspirations, maybe after YC or something?
Oh, I mean, maybe like 10, 20 years from now.
What would you do? You're gonna be the mayor of San Francisco? Or?
I mean, honestly, like, I'm pretty focused on money and media. And then, you know, I actually think the actual job of being an elected official seems terrible to me.
It seems pretty hard. We're gonna go to, I think, like your favorite bar in a little bit, but I would love to check out your place on the way.
Come on over.
Tell me about where we're going. I see the house in the distance. It's kind of like the tallest thing I see. Like, what is this place?
Yeah, so we're headed to my event house. So one of the things when I was taking on the job at YC, I realized like COVID was ending, and actually a lot of my job is just bringing people together.
Yeah.
And so this thing came up on the market, and I'm really addicted to Redfin, and and I got a crazy deal on it. I got like, you know, maybe $1.5 million off the thing.
Oh, wow.
So it was just sitting there for maybe like 2 years with no offers all the way through COVID. And then I said, well, I could use a place like this. We're gonna see it. Used to be a church, and now it got converted into condos. And then we use it for, you know, political events. We use it for YC stuff sometimes. So I realized, like, I kind of want to have a place where I can just have people over.
Yeah.
And just convene. And so that's one of the things that, this is my house.
That's really cool. Did you have to do a lot of work? I feel like anytime there's a place that's just sitting, and then maybe there's a price reduction, it's like, it's probably gonna be a project.
Oh, I mean, luckily it was good to go. So,
really?
I mean, yeah, this used to be
turnkey?
Yeah, 1902, I believe. It's in the historical register, and it was the Church of the Second Scientist.
What is that?
It was one of the Christian church, you know, kind of Christian Science churches. Wow. And then I think it was just sitting for a while because, you know, as a lot of churches in San Francisco went, like, you know, the congregation got smaller and smaller, and then a developer had to put in a bunch of stuff to make it seismically good, and that's why it got converted into condos. So we'll get a look at it.
I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, this is sort of the main cave. We got the gym, but this is the famous Saunagate, so the place of Saunagate. So we have a nice cold plunge. I'm not going to subject this to you, but it is really an awesome experience.
Is this all Brian Johnson approved?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah. He helped design this?
No, but he's definitely, you need to make sure you ice your balls.
All right, you got to explain Saunagate. I mean, obviously, I've seen it all over Twitter. People think that, like, you do some crazy Illuminati shit in this
it's
sauna.
Honestly
like,
just a
what's
sauna.
Going on?
And cold plunge, that's it. I mean, like I said, we host a lot. I mean, I fund, 50 companies or so a year myself, like all the YC partners do.
Yeah, of course.
And then I like to host people for dinner. And so we had, like, a cohort of about 20, 30 founders over for dinner upstairs. And then I had just gotten this set up. And there were a couple, sauna aficionados that were, they're Scandinavian.
Partaking.
And they were like, oh, can we jump in? And I was like, yeah, why not? Go for it, right? I didn't.
Yeah.
And then these guys like came and they took a selfie.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that photo. Yeah.
And then suddenly, you know, as it does happen to public figures, like things just start like getting out of hand. Like I think there's some people who literally got rejected from YC probably a dozen times or something. And then I think something breaks in people's brains when that happens that many times. So somehow they started fomenting this like idea that like, you know, I'm grooming founders. It's just like completely nuts.
In the sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
so
my
that's
God.
why I'm just like, no haters in the sauna and no selfies.
Yeah, well, I think that makes sense.
I got a sign in there that says no selfies now.
The real question, have you ever done a deal in the sauna?
No, definitely not. This is like, no, you know, the sauna and cold plunge to me is like no work talk.
Yeah, this is decompress.
That's right. This is my chill zone.
Cool,
So.
cool. All right, let's go check out the rest of the place. I'll follow you.
Oh, please, yeah.
So this place, this was like this when you got it, just everything.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is from the prior owners.
The Legos?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
I figured this was like your kids or something.
Oh,
or,
no.
you know, you helping them make
We
like
keep
an art
meaning
project.
to cover all the other walls with it too.
With more Legos?
Yeah. I mean, it's got a whole city vibe, really.
Totally. This is crazy. I mean, what am I even looking at here?
Yeah, I think it's a city, honestly. Like you can see this like a little monorail, and yeah, the previous owners were really, really into art, and we're just glad that they left this behind. And it's my project to cover the rest of all the walls in the place.
Yeah, you and your kids.
Exactly this. Yeah.
That'd be a fun family project.
Yep.
Super cool.
Yeah.
All right. What's
Please,
next?
come on in.
Oh, thanks. Whoa.
Yeah, so this used to be the main sanctuary of the church. And we can host, 50 people for a seated dinner. Just come over to Gary's house and have dinner. And, we've had my birthday party here.
Wow.
And, yeah, that was fun. We got a nice band in here. So.
Wow. How many people do you have in here?
I mean, maybe like 150 comfortably.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we've hosted Pat Gelsinger from Intel. Peter Thiel spoke here. We've had London Breed. We're having Scott Wiener here next week. So it's, I think of it almost like as a salon space.
Yeah.
But it's just one that is literally my house.
Super cool. How old is this glass even?
I think it's something like 110 years old.
So that's how old this building is.
Yeah.
110.
But this is new. This is like maybe 10 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the
before you moved in.
Yeah, that's the seismic retrofit.
Wow. One of the things I've heard about you, speaking of a church, like I understand you are a deeply religious person. Is that true?
I'm converted Christian, so.
Converted Christian?
Yeah.
Oh,
I grew up as an atheist, but.
Okay. Like meaning in your household growing up, not only was there no religion, it was like religion is not.
Personally, I was atheist, and then my dad's Buddhist and my mom's Christian.
Okay.
But I just really struggled as a kid. I mean, I had a pretty rough childhood, so I just really kind of struggled with theodicy, this sort of idea, like how does an omnipotent God, who, all-seeing, all-knowing, all-good, all-powerful, one of those things has to be wrong if we're living in this broken world. And there was a Rumi poem that really spoke out to me that like sort of explained it. It was the story of the wise man and the snake. And long story short, it's like, God puts a snake, we have to struggle with evil and with like the difficulty of life. And, he can't just remove it because we wouldn't do the things we need to do to sort of grow as people or to become who he might want us to be. So, that was like sort of this really powerful moment for me in my, actually mid-20s that I sort of came to faith, sort of overcoming this idea that actually, the world's really screwed up, but there can be a God in that case.
And that led you to convert to Christianity.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that process like for you? I mean, did you have to go through like a lot of education, or how does one convert to Christianity? I grew up Catholic, so it was just there, I guess. But yeah, for somebody like doing it in their 20s, what does that even look like?
I guess I just started like going church hopping, like trying to find a community, try to see what really resonated for me.
Was this a family thing or
no, just me
just
in my 20s, single dude trying to like make my way.
Wow.
And, there's some pretty fun experiences going to different kinds of churches. I mean, I went to a Korean church and they made me do a faith healing. I went to a Pentecostal church and I had to speak in tongues.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like really interesting to see how many different types of faiths there are. But now I'm on the board of Acts 17, which is sort of the nonprofit that brought Peter Thiel and Pat Gelsinger onto the stage. And they talk about their careers, but they also talk about God and they talk about their faith. And one of the things that we really want to give people an option for, especially in this modern time, is the chance to be seeking, right? It's not saying this is definitely right or this is the only way that you could possibly think about the world, but more like, hey, why don't you just go to church and see if it resonates for you.
Yeah, and see. It's interesting. I mean, it feels like there's, so I don't know if you want to call it a resurgence or maybe people are just being more open about it, but it does seem like there are a lot of people who are starting to take religion and faith more seriously in the tech community, which I will admit for me, when I learned that, it seemed somewhat counterintuitive. I think I always felt like science and religion were like two very, very different things. I don't help me make sense of that. Like, why do you think this is such a faith and religion is so at the forefront right now in the technology community?
And I think we're just looking for meaning, right?
Yeah.
And then we're at the dawn of AGI. Like, we don't know if a singularity is coming. Maybe it is. I think that there's this very deep sort of existential angst, not just in tech, but broadly.
Life,
and then,
especially post-COVID.
Yeah, I think that it might be, it's not for everyone, but I think it will help. And, maybe a return to Christianity or any faith. I think that the world actually desperately needs a lot more of that. So I think it's a different thing in the Bay Area too. I mean,
what do you
interesting thing. I mean, it's all non-denominational. It's just it's, I guess, California faith, it sounds like it's very different than other parts of the country or even the world.
Yeah, sorry, explain that more.
I mean, my sense is there's Methodist, there's Presbyterian, these are very, old traditions that are very specific.
Yeah.
And then, if you go to a church in San Francisco or anywhere in LA or even New York City, you go to a Redeemer and it's not steeped in Baptist,
right.
guilt.
Yeah, and shame.
Guilt and, or hellfire and brimstone, right? It's, it's very Jesus focused. So I think it's just interesting. It's like a cultural experience in some way. Science versus Christianity, it's not really that orthogonal. We had the head of the NIH come and speak at the Act 17.
Oh, wow.
And he talked about how faith actually, really integrated with his life and how he thought about his work. And so I actually approached faith through worship music. So rather than, I spent a lot of time trying to approach faith from purely intellectual, and I think some friends of mine are actually able to do that, but there's nothing like going to a really good worship and like singing and just allowing sort of the Holy Spirit to enter you. I mean, it's just an interesting thing that I want people to be at least open to, right?
Yeah.
And this is speaking as an atheist growing up. I remember being in history and English class, and there'd be a world religion unit, and I was the guy who the Christians in that class would say you're going to hell.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's not very welcoming or inclusive of them. I don't think Jesus would say that. Right. So.
Does your family go? Is this now a whole Tan family experience?
We've been going to Epic Church in San Francisco, and
Your kids go and
they love Sunday
baptized
school,
and
I mean, I think there's a real resurgence. Epic Church more than doubled the number of people who go to that church in the last I think year.
Wow.
So there's something happening.
There's totally something happening.
I think
feel it too.
Bible sales are through the roof apparently. Globally. So
you make a good point about AGI. I do wonder how much of it is driven by the interest in AI and people sort of what's it all mean? What's where does this all lead? And maybe that's where people want to find an answer.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other people who actually the ED and founder of this nonprofit is actually Michelle Stevens. So she's Trey Stevens' wife.
Okay.
And Trey, famously started Anduril.
Yep.
I mean, my favorite, he has this amazing essay and talk about good quests. You can work on a lot of stuff, but hey, maybe we should actually work on things that like link us to our fellow man, that actually solve real problems. Like, we don't have to help people click on ads. Like, there are bigger, meatier problems in the world than that.
Speaking of worship music, I believe you are next going to show me your favorite karaoke bar, the Lion's Den.
That's right.
So let's head over.
Yeah, let's go to Chinatown.
Awesome. Thanks for giving me a tour of the place.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I haven't taken that many Waymos because I don't live here.
Yeah, totally.
I heard they're coming to New York, though.
Oh, that's exciting.
I started the ride right now, so here we go.
Today's kind of an emotional day because I'm sort of absorbing. We reject 99.3% of people who apply to YC right now.
And
we just rejected
the day
them.
that the rejections go out.
Yeah,
oh my
they
gosh.
just went out today.
Oh, man.
And so the internet is processing it. So I think a lot of people, I'm feeling like in the noosphere, a lot of hate, but I'm also like, guys, like the first step to getting into YC is getting rejected from YC.
Do many applicants that get accepted, have they previously been rejected?
I mean, I think the average number of times people who got in this last batch who, like, they applied maybe at least twice.
Wow. That's the average?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's very, very normal to get
know that.
rejected from YC before getting into YC.
Oh, wow.
There are more people who got rejected multiple times from YC in the batch than people who got in the first time.
I had no idea. That's fascinating. And so when you said, like, there's hate brewing on the internet, like, we talked about being a public figure earlier. On a day like today, do you and the various group partners at YC, do you just get bombarded with tweets, angry tweets, angry emails?
Yeah.
Does that get filed for future applications, or?
I mean, I think it's a resiliency test at some level.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Because it's like, look, like, we're not clairvoyant.
Right.
And also, like, just because, like, if 99.3% of people are getting rejected, like, it's almost like you can't get that mad. Like, it's just so unlikely.
And you're going to be rejected in countless ways as a founder at every turn.
That is definitely
every turn of the journey. So, like, just get used to it. Like, start getting used to it now.
That's
you're
right.
You're gonna have to overcome so many no's and so many hurdles.
You're gonna get rejected. Like, people don't want to work for you. Like, investors are not gonna want to
say
invest.
no.
And,
yeah.
I mean, how often is it that someone
users
gets
are
mad?
not going to adopt your product at first.
Yeah. Reviewers hate it. Hacker News commenters hate it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's gonna hate you, and then, I mean, it's actually fascinating to see that play out at YC, because some people have never failed in their entire lives. And then they get punched in the face with users, they get punched in the face with investors, and it's a problem. Like, the joke internally this batch was, I was thinking, when you get into YC, maybe I should make people do a 60-second hang from a bar. Like a fixed bar. You ever do this?
No.
This was like a thing when I ran cross country in high school. It's really hard to do.
Hang from a bar.
Yeah, we're going to hang in a bar, but one of the true tests of, like, can you
and
overcome?
How long?
Yeah. And if you could do it for a minute, like, great. Like, you're probably resilient enough to take a few slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. And if you can't even do that, maybe we will force you to watch this seminar about mental toughness.
I mean, building a startup really is kind of, there's almost no better exercise or test of endurance than building a startup.
Yep.
Right? It's just like every corner you're getting punched in the face, and it's like, how much can you take? And eventually, hopefully you break through and the snowball starts to roll down the hill. It's a pretty painful experience.
Yeah, that's right.
I know you've gone through it, I've gone through it. It's not a feel-good experience most of the time, or at least until it starts working.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about, like times we've hung out, or the podcast I did with you at YC, just kind of how awesome it's been for you to be at YC as the CEO. I've always wondered sort of what the transition for you was like, coming from Initialized, which I believe you founded with Alexis, right? Like, that was your
And Harj,
thing.
actually. So I'm working with Harj, who is one of the co-founders, and he hired me at YC back in the day.
Okay.
So I feel like we sort of, YC is this tree of prosperity. And then for, a time under Sam, I, went off and went into one of the, branches of the tree of prosperity. And then...
and as in a company, or that's when you founded
that's what Initialized was. Like all of our wins, Rippling, Flock Safety, really, like, I credit being a part of that ecosystem for all of our success.
Sorry, just to make sure I understand this. So you were at YC, because you were like a designer in residence at YC, right? You did design stuff at YC back then.
Yeah. And then I just did so many office hours that it was probably too awkward to not make me a partner.
So they made you a partner,
yeah.
But then you're saying you went off and you started Initialized, and because you were part of the ecosystem, you just saw so much of the deal flow and funded so many YC companies.
Yeah, and all of our wins, like 90% of our wins were YC.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about being president of YC. It's like I was a part of the tree, I was someone in the ecosystem and the ecosystem was incredible for me. And, I funded like multiple decacorns because, at the earliest stage, just because I was like
you were there.
in that. Yeah, I was there and I could meet these people. And like, that's what YC represents to me. It's like, it's the outcome of a, 0.7% acceptance rate. And then these are like the best of the best people, like we're not going to get it right every single time. The thing that gets me is people get so mad when we make like a mistake. And it's like, oh yeah, sorry.
You mean
like,
you reject something that ends up
both
working
ways,
out.
right?
Yeah.
They get more mad when we let in someone who turns out to be like not quite as good. And then they're like, but I got rejected and I'm way better than these people. And it's like, oh yeah. It turns out we're human beings.
But that must be hard to point out, right? I mean, because not all YC companies make it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to imagine a lot of them don't.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the unicorn rate is only 6 to 12%.
Only. Of course,
which is a lot,
low.
but it's also tiny.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's tiny. I think it's tiny, which makes sense. So then, obviously, you went back to YC after Initialized. Like, what was that hard? Leaving your baby Initialized?
Oh, it was so hard.
Yeah,
but
how did you do that?
A lot of it is like
it was
YC,
working, wasn't it?
It's working great, and some of it I gave it to my partner. So Brett Gibson runs it now.
Okay,
and he's like just knocking it out of the park over there. And then, I mean, basically, being able to go from like the branch back into the root and to be like sort of the central gardener of the tree, I mean, it's a dream job.
Yeah. So was that why you did it? Because it was a dream job? It was like, oh, shit, I can be president of YC.
Yeah, I mean, Paul and Jessica like tracked me down and said, Gary, we need you back. And I like, honestly, it was very hard. Like I had to say goodbye to the team that I brought together.
Yeah.
But I also set them up for success. Like they were able to continue to invest and do an incredible job. And so, Initialized is as strong as ever.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to the tree and like make sure that they're like, I can actually support them even more from like outside the tree or from outside the branch.
It feels like there's been a lot of changes to YC, and you've talked to me about this stuff a little bit. I think around the time when you joined, YC had a growth fund. I think you called it like continuity fund or something. That's my understanding is that's gone now.
Yeah, we're out of competing with you guys.
Yeah.
So we want to be your best buddies, and all we ask is please let us keep funding the companies as they go. So
right.
we want you to lead, and we just want to take our pro ratas. So
yeah. But what's the I appreciate that. You're very generous. But what was the strategy? Like, why wasn't it working? Or
I mean, it turns out that like if you own 7 to 9% of all of these companies, just taking the pro ratas means you never miss the decacorns, and you know how the power law works.
Yeah.
6 to 12% of the companies will end up being worth $1 billion or more, and then actually, that's not even the bulk of the return. The bulk of we think that a really good return for YC would be 8x. And the bulk of that is actually not even in the unicorns, it's actually in the decacorns and the Stripe, the DoorDash, the Coinbase, the Airbnb, right? And so if most of your return is that, then it's binary whether you are in the pro ratas and continuing to own pieces of the company, or do you let yourself get diluted down? So, YC famously invested $12,000-$15,000 to own 7% of Airbnb, but at IPO, it returned $2 billion.
Wow.
But if it took pro rata, it'd be 7 billion.
Whoa.
And you'd only have to probably invest like another couple
couldn't?
$100 million for that. No, I mean, structurally, there was no way to do it, but now we do.
Because of the continuity fund? Because there was more allocated to that or something?
They just hadn't raised the money.
Hadn't raised the money.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, so is the idea, I think what I just heard you say then is, turns out the core YC business is just so good. So why focus? Why have any distraction from that focus? Structurally, economically, team-wise, like just put 100% of the energy.
And have one team doing it. It's like I have 15 equal general partners, and it's, you know, people talk about Benchmark as an equal partnership. Like I think YC should be, you know, people should think about YC as the defining equal partnership in all of venture.
Right. Wow. It's just such a good business on its own. Why defocus the business?
That's right.
And I mean, it probably saves a lot of operational
Let's have one
overhead.
team that just focuses on, and one relationship. You know, there's one partner, that partner.
Oh, right, because it was a completely different fund. You had different partners.
Yeah, why have a different team?
It's
why have
confusing
a different fund?
for the teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then basically now, like the experience of going through YC is very straightforward. Like you interview with the partner, if the partner likes you, like they're your person for like the life of the company. And like, you know what? Like YC actually owns a lot of these companies.
Right.
Like we own, you know, you're giving us 7% ownership. Like, you know, help us. We just graduated, 160 companies this week. And I told every single one of them, like, listen guys, like we're actually big major investors in your company.
Yeah.
So make us earn it.
Yeah.
Like come back, like do office hours with us. Like we're here to help you, like for the life of the company. Like YC doesn't, the only thing that ends at the end of YC is like, we don't have regularly scheduled things. Like just come talk to us anytime. Like literally here's my cell phone number.
That's become very clear to me. I mean, you and I, and plus, you know, some of the other group partners, like we actually talk about companies that are in older batches.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually know that until you guys started talking to me about it.
Structurally, if we didn't have that, you know, sort of actual continuity, then actually we wouldn't be able to do that. We'd be like, oh yeah, I met those guys a couple years ago and that's it.
They're part of the later stage fund now. Yeah, that's super interesting. The batches have gotten a lot bigger, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's mainly a function of like, you know, our acceptance rate used to be like 2.5%. And then it was like over the last 20 years, it went from that down to like 0.7%. So,
oh, wow.
So, you know, I think net, you know, the number one thing that people are always worried about is like, oh shoot, there's so many companies. But I think that, you know, this has become a real bit, like I think the size of the outcomes is 10x bigger. Like I remember first raising Initialized Fund 1 and thinking like, man, the biggest exit we could possibly imagine is like Dropbox at, you know, I think it was worth $4 billion at the time in 2011. And I was like, no, like 50 billion is on the table, 100 billion is on the table. Like, you know, I mean, if anything, like I would love for YC to help create all the next generations of Elon Musks. And if that happens, then we're talking $1.5 trillion. Great.
Right.
Like that's what the world needs. Like that, going back to technology, like that's how we evenly distribute technology to all the people who should have it.
So is the idea then like you actually would scale the batches to be as big as operationally possible?
But I need you to be making money. And I need more mics. I need more people
because you need them to get funded when they graduate.
I want you to do well, and I want everyone in venture to do well, because that's how we all rise together.
Right.
And then that's how founders win, right? Like it doesn't have to be this adversarial, there can only be one. This is the most abundance growth mindset business that has ever existed in humanity.
And do you feel like a big part of why there are so many, well, you mentioned the acceptance rate, but so many more companies in the batch. Do you think AI has a lot to do with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Just because it's getting so much easier to start and to build?
The really interesting thing is like, it's not clear to me capital is going to be a bludgeon anymore. So, I mean, and that might actually be a really good thing. You know, there's like discernment, taste, ability to help, like ability to, I mean, do what you're doing right now. Like, you know, I love that you're a consumer founder, because turning around and applying that to investing is like the most intelligent thing you can do, right?
Say more.
I mean, this is, you know, you're building your audience.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
This is this is awesome. I mean, this is why I started doing YouTube. This is a consumer
experience, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's parking. Oh, nope.
And it
is parking. It's I think it's parallel parking.
Finding a spot to pull over. All right, here we are, Chinatown.
I want to see this. This is like your spot.
Yep.
The Lion's Den.
This is, I mean, it's a little hole in the wall, but
what's great.
it's the best karaoke joint.
And you know that because you've frequented all the karaoke places. You're like a karaoke connoisseur?
I usually do karaoke at home at the church.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we have a good setup there
karaoke
too.
Spot. Where are we going?
There it is.
Okay. What's your song? What's your karaoke song?
Oh man, because I got high.
What's that? What was that guy's name?
Afro Man. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's another reference people will not get.
Yeah, I mean, being 44, that's just how it works.
Yes, of course.
You just get older, and then the founders, they're young and they don't watch the same movies that brought us up. So.
They don't. I thought you were going to say
Steven.
Tupac hit him up.
That's right.
Because isn't this the scene of the infamous Tupac?
Hey, great to see you, Steven.
I was just talking to you with Forrest.
Oh my God.
It's so cold.
It's cold.
Oh yeah, thanks for opening up the bar for us.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
This is my buddy Mike.
Are you guys coming tonight?
Thanks for doing this. We're coming right now.
We're just filming real quick.
That's you guys with
This
the
is us.
podcast?
Yeah, we're just filming
You mind?
No.
All right, let's do
I thought
it.
you guys were going to be in VIP. Now they just want to take a photo.
Oh yeah, we just want to drink. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
We're just here to.
Oh, the Nigel.
Thanks for opening up for us.
Yeah,
Oh, the Nigel.
So this is the famed Lion's Den.
the infamous.
I've heard a lot about this place. Gary's been telling me about it.
We built this for Chinatown.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This is kind of, built for the community. This has been something that to bring more people to Chinatown instead of buying back scratchers and walks.
Yeah.
Now they can have cocktails and whatever.
Well, I'm excited to have one. Are we too early to order something, or?
Oh, we can do it. I have some connections. Maybe.
How's it going, Nigel?
Okay, now okay,
What's up?
Negronis?
Yeah, Negroni sounds great. Thank you.
My usual.
Well, cheers to the Lion's Den.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Cheers.
hosting us.
Cheers. Thanks for hosting us.
Yeah.
No problem.
Wow. So yeah, this is the place. You've been telling me about this place.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is, speaking of Tupac.
Yeah.
This is where that all happened, right?
Yeah,
give us this. This is another one of the, this is like Saunagate.
Oh,
this is
yeah, a
another
little bit.
Gary controversy.
I'm trying to get over. I'm trying to get over this stuff. You know. But the story is me and a bunch of dads from my oldest. We were all in fourth grade at the time. We'd come and have a nice dad's night out. And downstairs we're doing karaoke.
Is that a normal night for you guys?
I love karaoke. And yeah, I mean we have we call it the Case Dad's Drinking Club. So we like to. It's actually a dining club, but we do a little drinking.
Okay.
So. But we came out, we had some karaoke. I happened to have just done "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac, and
it's a classic.
It's a classic for our generation, I guess. And people didn't really get the joke. I was really fired up about politics, and I said some things that sort of made that lyric something that it shouldn't be. And I woke up in the morning, I apologized, and realized, what, that's just not me. I don't need that out there.
Yeah.
People didn't get the joke, and I kind of get it. And, especially now with so much political violence in the world, it's just not the vibe that is me. But I don't know. This is where it happened. It starts with karaoke, and then all I know is I delete Twitter off my phone after I have a couple drinks, especially when I'm at Lion's Den.
This is your move
It's
now.
just
You
a move,
delete Twitter.
it's an if statement, and it just keeps me out of trouble.
You should get Opal. Have you seen Opal?
Oh yeah.
It's this app that locks certain apps.
Very smart.
And you can make it extremely difficult to. I think the only way to do it is to either uninstall the app or shut down or restart your phone or something. So
the reality is in the future the phone actually will just do this for us. It'll know us.
Right.
It'll, our phone.
Stop.
Yeah.
Do not open Twitter.
And
Gary.
yeah, that's right. Do not rage tweet.
Yeah. How did you find this place? How did this become the dad's favorite karaoke spot?
Oh, I mean, I got to know a local organizer, activist named Forrest Liu, and then he had us over, and then we, decided to become members of the place. Because, I think that this is one of the
This
stories.
is a membership?
Yeah, there's a members club downstairs, and I'm a member. I have a little box that,
Oh, wow.
on the little placard it says Twitter Menace. So,
What? That's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a local place, politicians hang out here, local business people, Chinatown, activists, like people this is the local place. And I think that that's kind of important for tech. Like, I think that we should get involved in our communities.
For sure.
And so, this is kind of the jam,
I feel like that's what I'm learning about you is that's like kind of your thing, to get involved with the community, get involved with the local political community and your local actual community, to get involved with the religious community and the faith community. Obviously, YC is a giant community.
Yeah.
It feels like you really now I understand that home that you showed me a little bit better. It feels like community and bringing people together is kind of your thing.
Yeah, so the internet is this crazy thing, and obviously we get attacked, like, these cancel mobs come for you, like all this stuff. But, when you sit down for a drink with someone and you get to know someone, it hits different. And so
totally.
I do think that we need to do a lot more of that, and I think we can do that right here in San Francisco, and we can build a better one, a much better city if we do that.
What's the future of San Francisco in your mind? Where do things go from here?
I am someone who's like from the Bay. I feel like there's this weird anti sort of tech culture where people who grew up in San Francisco often don't feel like the prosperity of tech like sort of goes over to them. And I think that that's actually, somewhat of a failure of community, and it's a failure of government. And those are things we can do something about, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the last person to be like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't want to pay taxes, right? Like, I think I'm fine to pay the taxes, but I want the dollars to go to things that protect our community, that make sure our kids can learn algebra, like they should have good educations. I believe that like rent should not be $10,000 a month for a one bedroom, and that's what
which is why you want to build housing.
We need to build housing. Yeah. And so, it is a failure of government, and, it's dereliction of duty to the people. Mm. But you know what? Like, this is America. I remember going on a walk with my friend Nancy Tung, who we were mentioning earlier.
You mentioned.
She's now the head of the San Francisco Democratic Party.
Wow.
We won back even the Democratic Party in San Francisco. And if we're successful in the next 10 years, you're going to hear San Francisco Democrat, and it's going to mean a different thing. Right now, it means like, the worst of what you might, I am a Democrat. And, I am not okay with what the vibe is when someone says I'm a Democrat, because people don't hear the things that I want for the Democratic Party out of San Francisco. But I think that that's what we can and will be. Like in 10 years, people will look at SF and say, actually, they did it, and they did it right. Like they made it work. Like you can be in tech, you can be pro-prosperity, you can create abundance, but then also you can make it work for everyone in your community, like the people who live next to you who might not work in tech.
What's the future of YC? We talked about the batch size, we talked about AI, we talked about sort of how it's changed since you got there. But now where does it go from here?
I think of YC as, we said it's the tree of prosperity. Actually, the vibe, I think, is actually like Airbnb. Like it's a two-sided marketplace. And
YC is.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Airbnb is that there's virtually limitless demand, right? Like there's always more people who want to stay in any given city in the world. And the limiting reagent for Airbnb is actually hosts.
Right. It's supply.
So that's why some of it is like, I'm so glad to, hang out with you, befriend you, and just see you grow as one of the top investors at Demo Day, that our friendship grows. And then I want to fund all the things that you precede. And then on the flip side, I want you to come and get into all the best companies at YC, because that's how we actually build this thing. You're my super host, actually.
I appreciate you saying that. So you're saying it's the supply is the batch, the YC company.
Oh no, supply is you.
Supply is
great investors who are going to do the work.
Got it. And then demand is the batch.
I mean, I'm at 99.3% of people I have to reject.
Yeah.
Right. I'm totally pegged. And so I need to grow YC so that we can have more startup founders and more success in the world. And then I need to make sure that you make a lot of money and your team can grow, and you guys do great. And that's the world that I want to live in. It's I think the venture can and should be 10 times bigger. than it is now.
Do you think that, we talked in the car a little bit about capital not being a bludgeon anymore. Do you think the capital needs, oh wow, that's the Christmas, it looked like a pig.
Yeah, right? yeah. That's for the Toys for Tots drive.
Do you think that capital becomes less of a bludgeon, therefore there's less of it? There's less demand for capital, therefore there is less capital over time? Do you think?
I think it'll go far. It'll go farther.
It'll go further. Yeah. And so, like, maybe I asked you, what do you think the future of YC is? What do you think the future of VC is?
I mean, I think that like people should maybe club together less and then do more early stage. Like, I think that might be where
what do you
a lot
mean
more
club together less?
Oh, I mean, there's the 2018 version of venture is like, such and such firm comes in, and then our other buddy comes in, and then our other buddy comes in, and then
handing
the fix is in.
Yeah.
It's like, look, like, don't even try to attack this market.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll work, and then I think increasingly in the age of AI, it's not going to work, and that's good news. Like, I don't want, there are 7 companies worth $1 trillion. Like, I think that that's bad. I think that we should have thousands of companies worth billions to tens of billions of dollars. And I actually think that now is the moment where that's going to happen.
So what is your advice for the average VC right now who invests early stage? What would you tell them to do?
I mean,
somebody like me.
I think you're already doing it. Like, show up, show up, do early stage. Fund people before it's obvious, and then I actually think now is the moment where all of that is going to work.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I mean, not only do I feel like I got to know the real Garry Tan better, but I feel like I got to know this city better from somebody who probably knows it better than most. So I really appreciate it. Looking forward to a happy new year, and thanks for showing me around.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much for watching this very special episode of Out of Office with Garry Tan. I feel like I really got to know Garry and the city of San Francisco. If you don't already subscribe, do me a favor and smash the subscribe button or the follow button, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. And of course, do us a favor and give us a thumbs up or 5 stars wherever you're watching or listening. As always, you can learn more about Lightspeed at LightspeedVP, and you can follow me at Mignano. This has been a production of Lightspeed and Pod People. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.